The views and opinions of the Nissan Nation podcast are simply that. They are views and opinions of its guests or hosts. They do not reflect Nissan corporate or otherwise. Now, a DRB and KGB media presentation, the Nissan Nation podcast. Hit it, Kelly.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's a Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in your hosts, David, Danny, and Holden.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? From all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to way over on the left coast where Daniel is at, this is your Nissan Nation podcast, and the results are in, Danny. Round 2 is coming. Titan Adventures, Dan.
Ooh-wee! I am preparing my liver. I am preparing the action suit. I am going to shine the power rock. I'm going to stack all the action suit Groot stickers into my pockets in the action suit. And we're going to do it right, Dave. And not only that, Dave, is we're coming in force now.
Yeah, that's right. We actually know what's going to happen.
Well, that, and I think we have some we got some friends of the show coming on this trip. If the word on the streets has hit me correctly, we got some friends of the show on this trip. This is going to be some true homies.
This is going to be Shenanigans Central, man, is what I think. So if you haven't heard, go check out the hashtag Titan Adventures. And if you haven't, why have you not checked out our YouTube channel? Go to our YouTube channel and look at our video from the Titan Adventures. It's where me and Danny last spring got to go to Wyoming. And we got to play with some Titans. We got to play on some snowmobiles. And we got to play with all kinds of things, Dan.
Yeah. I think we played with some. I don't remember some of it.
Danny was hitting it hard one night.
Yeah. No, there was some elks. There was some moose. There was a lot of delicious food. And there was some snowmobiles. Yeah, we had a great time. And I you know what? I think we're going to have another good time very, very soon. And this time, we're going to get it all on video, Dave. I mean, we got a little bit of video last time. We got some snippets, but our game has stepped up. Dave's game has stepped up with his YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel is pumped up since last time. And I think we're going to do some work, and we're going to really show you the inside track. The inside track.
How about we show them the inside truck?
Spirit.
The inside truck, because the 2020 Titan is going to be there, Danny, and we're going to be some of the first to get to drive this and experience the new Titan, man.
It's going to be so good. My loins are going to be just tingling and flingling.
The worst thing for you is once that we seen pictures of that Titan drop and you got to see all the video on it and stuff, you were like itching, like, man, if that truck was here now, you'd be all over it. So the idea that you get to drive it and then have to go back home and wait till February when that truck drops.
You know what sucks too, Dave, is literally last weekend, and I haven't even picked it up. I literally, actually, as of today, I am the owner of an RV trailer too.
What?
I am the owner of an RV trailer that my Frontier can't tow.
Uh-oh.
The Armada can tow it, but the Armada's, I don't know.
Would a Kia whatever pull it?
No. So
you're gonna need a Titan, is what it sounds like.
Sounds like it.
Well, I'm super pumped. The last time, my hat's off to Wendy Orthman and David Page and all the people that helped put this together, because the last one was it was an experimental trip we went on last time. Can we bring like 20 people that don't know each other? Well, we knew a lot of people, but.
Yeah, social media people that have never really spent any time together, basically, right?
Right, and then some press, and how will they get along? And it seemed to get along well, because when we went there, we were instantly like the Dave and Danny show. Like remember jumping in that sleigh? Like
I'll tell you. Oh yeah. Yeah, we were throwing jokes back and forth, and I don't think people quite knew what to do with us.
They didn't.
And then I think it was a second night. I show up in my action suit, and everybody's just looking at me.
You were heartbroken because Action Suit didn't do what you thought it would.
No, I don't. I think it was almost like it was a little too. The Action Suit usually does really well in most of the environments that, whether it's Went or, going out to a bar with some friends or gone Moab, where it's just people just looking to have a good time. There was the corporate entities that were there as well as the news people, or as well as the reporters. Mm-hmm. I don't think they were quite as into the excitement and or understood what I was doing with the Action Suit.
Right.
But they warmed to us after they started understanding what we were all about. And by the last night, they had all warmed up to the idea that is the Dave and Danny show.
I'll never forget though, like we had Wendy Orthman and some heavy hitters within Nissan in our sleigh, because we had 3 sleighs that all these people got in.
Oh yeah, and we had never met any of them, and we just started riffing nonstop.
And I think you went right from the airport over there, right? Because I was at the coffee shop waiting, and
you had a minute. We got there and maybe 15-20 minutes. We were back in cars driving over to the elk refuge, and
instant Dave Danny show hits, and they're just kind of
just making inappropriate jokes and making trying to get our sleigh ride going, which after a little while it was pretty good, but I don't know if the little tour guide was as much into our jokes as I appreciated our jokes.
Of course. And I'll post some pictures up of the Titan adventure. I have video of us on the sleigh too that I can post up, but
that's good.
But it's a fun time, and it is an honor to get to go to these things. I think probably we're the only 2 returning people from the original one. And I got a feeling it's because, the podcast, it's because of our listeners really that we get to experience this, because you guys, when you listen and you share all of our content and stuff, it just shows that, hey, these super fans have, they got some clout within the enthusiast world, and, they want to use us, and we don't mind being used. Right, Danny?
That's the God's honest truth, Dave. Spitting some truths.
Throw some jumbo shrimp down my throat, and you can use me all you want there. I don't care. No, but it is it's Nissan does show these fans a really good time, and obviously we're going to get to test out the new Titan, and I think they have a little off-road segment planned, and it's in Park City, Utah. So Utah, we go to Moab, Danny. So this is a different side of Utah that I've never seen.
Yeah, I've been there, and I've been around Utah a little bit more now. It's quite over all the years, and dude, it's got so much to offer. And being able to go out and do this, it's just gonna be one more epic trip to put under our belt and be able to talk about and share. And I think all of our constituency, followers or whatnot, I think we'll be able to really provide them with. Provide you guys that are listening right now, I'm in your ear holes. We want to really provide you guys with just some fun, some antics. Mm-hmm. We want to go have a blast. We want to bring to you, what we actually hands-on experience with the new truck and show off what it can do. And so and while doing that, try and entertain. Because Dave, I don't know about you, but one of the things in my life that I like to do is entertain. If I can put a smile on somebody's face, it means the world to me. It's not about me, Dave. It's just bringing a smile to somebody's face. If I have to put on an action suit,
we're kind of opposite, Dan. Generally, you're like the good and I'm evil.
Yeah, you're just the guy. You're the guy that feeds me.
Anyways, we hope we don't come off as kind of jerks when we get to announce these things and oh great, look what they're doing again. But we really do the idea of recording the last one was to give you a feel of what we were experiencing. I really feel like that video did a pretty good job of that, of being hey, kind of this was we can't film all 3 days or whatever this is of it, but I do feel like we try to show our listeners and viewers kind of the fun of it. And like Danny said, to get to experience the new Titan, and really, we're going to get to drive the thing. And of course, I own one. Danny's only time behind the wheel of Titans was the last Titan adventure, right?
For the most part, yeah. Other than a couple here and there, but yeah, for any real time behind the wheel is the last Titan adventure.
Do you know what we haven't? And I don't think you've thought of this. Guess what comes out this month? The new XD.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that'll be very well. And
guess what could
who
be
knows?
There?
Does that mean it's going to be there? They're going to have one there? Because that's what
I would assume.
I wanted an XD before this one came out.
Right.
I was holding off. There was just things that weren't ready for me to buy a new vehicle. And then I got word that there's a 2020 full refresh. So I'm like, well, of course I'm not going to buy a new one yet.
Right.
I'm not in a big hurry to get one.
Right.
I mean, the trailer may be pushing that, but it's not like I have to have one in order to tow that thing.
Right.
But I saw the new refresh, but at the same time, when I was driving out in
Wyoming.
Jackson Hole,
yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'd really like the XD.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I want. I wanted the XD V8.
Right.
So we'll see what comes out with that one. It'd be great to be able to drive that one. And who knows? Maybe I'll pull the trigger one day. Maybe I'll just talk about it for forever.
Yeah. And speaking of that, man, so you guys have really came strong with us on YouTube. My hats, I keep saying it, but my hat's off to you. We're on that road to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're at 540 right now, Danny. I literally started the year at 97. So, you guys have really brought it. And, of course, we're trying to give you all content. And we just dropped the new video of the 2020 Versa. And I want to say thank you to Nissan for letting us have access to this car for a week. It was really cool to get to drive the thing. Holden got to see it before we did. And of course, he kept telling us, hey, man, the tech in this car is ridiculous for what you pay. And after spending a week in that car, Danny, I was very impressed with it. Is it a Maxima? No. But, dude, it is a pretty sweet ride.
Yeah, you were sending me some videos and some pictures, and we text back and forth about it or whatnot. But for an entry level car, the amount of tech that's in it and safety features and all that stuff, it's really quite impressive. The bang for the buck that you get, especially if it's like, my thought is, maybe you want to get something less expensive but extremely reliable and safe for a kid going to college or something like that, or helping your. I see it. I got two daughters, so I see it as like, here's a little car I buy for my daughter. Now, don't get me wrong, my daughters are gonna get Xterras and trucks and go off roading because they're badass kids. They're badass girls, and they don't need that little Versa stuff. Maybe my younger one, but that's neither here nor there.
You got a while yet.
But it would be a great car for a young kid that needs something, like I said, reliable and safe, because there's a lot of cool safety features. There's great tech in it, the Apple CarPlay and the 360 Shield stuff that they started providing in almost their entire lineup now. It's pretty cool. It was impressive. I didn't realize I knew that it had a lot of that stuff, but I didn't realize until you got it that it had all that stuff. I kind of knew of some of it, but I didn't realize it had all of that stuff.
Yeah, no, I took, obviously you generally know what especially a small commuter car is. I mean, we have a Sentra here, so it's damn near the same size as my son's Sentra. But so you kind of have an idea of what this car is going to drive like. And now it's got the electric steering and stuff, which I will say that is a little hard to get used to. You don't have the same feel of the road as the old pumps with the steering.
Yeah, but it feels good though in a way that
it's like a go-kart.
It's totally effortless to turn the car.
It is.
It's almost like it's not connected to anything. It's like it's just on a ball bearing.
Yeah.
And you're just spinning it, and it does. I think they do return to center normally, but not nearly as, let's call it quickly or with as much pressure. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. No, you're right. And but so like I said, I jumped behind the wheel of this thing, and you give it a couple days because just the excitement of having a new cool car is, you got to let that wear off for a minute, and you got to use the car like you would normally use your car. So once you get into that, And the most impressive thing is the cruise control of this thing, where it's got the braking for where you can get in traffic. I'm drawing a blank on what they call it, but so I got out on the highway, Dan, and you set your cruise like you normally would, take your foot off the brake, all that, and I'm driving, and I'd set the distance I wanted away from the cars, and you kind of forget until you get into some heavy traffic, and all of a sudden you just start the car starts slowing down, and you're like, whoa, what is going on here? And I mean, I went from 75 miles an hour to 60 when it went to traffic. If you pulled out of that lane into the next lane that might have been clear, it instantly speeds right back up. That was very impressive. And the 360 shield that they have around it is real nice. So what that entails is it's got sensors all around the car. You've got it in your mirrors. So if you got something coming in your blind spots, it lights up. It just kind of lets you know, hey, there's something. The one thing I didn't get to do is the emergency braking, but I just didn't want to throw myself in one of those.
Yeah,
does it work?
That's not something you want to like just run around and test.
Yeah. But I did use the car in normal stop and go traffic with that cruise control, and it would stop and go on its own. It was pretty.
That's pretty cool. That's way cool. And you know what? Being out here in LA,
yes,
LA area. If I was to drive, and that was kind of like when I rented that Ranger, and I was saying this cruise control is pretty cool. That's even better than the top of the line Ranger active cruise control.
Really?
And so that that top of the line Ranger that I drove, that's a $38,000 truck, and it doesn't even have the quality of active cruise control that has.
Right.
So it's something to be said for an entry level car basically.
Well, and part of the coolness too was in the gauges. So you have your normal speedo in there. Then the rest of it is, and I scrolled through it in the video, you have a ton of pages of just whether it be your fuel mileage consumption, all kinds of pages on that for your eco modes of it. Like you can scroll through all this stuff, and it's a nice screen. It's like a little 7-inch monitor, sort of like what the Titan's getting on the left-hand side of the miles per hour gauge. And that was really cool. The new radio in this thing, or I guess you can't even call them radios anymore. It's an infotainment center. Dude, it's way better than what my Titan has. And my Titan's a $54,000 truck. And this little $18,000 to $21,000 car was out doing it on all of the tech, man. It was really, and it had heated seats, which was super nice. As I was driving it, you do get a feel that, hey, it is sort of a commuter car. It feels like super light, and you can, it's got an attuned suspension there, but it ain't Maxima standards or Infinity standards of roadworthy. But it really was, because it starts out at $14,000 and you can get it in a 5-speed still. And dude, I think it's a great car, and it's a great looking car, because the previous 2 generations of Versa is just ugly. It's just like something from another planet that they made into a car.
It looks like a car that a kid drew.
Yes.
Like a 4-year-old drew in the car.
Yeah. They got their macaroni out and they glued this together.
Yeah. Just terrible. I mean, and that's the thing is, like, you don't have to. Why does a cheap car have to look so terrible? Are they just like, whoever's designing them is like, do you want me to put a lot of work into this, or do you want me to just get my kid to do it?
Yeah. Daddy's got TV to watch.
Is that how they finance that? They're like, no, just get your kid to do it. They're like, all right, it's going to look kind of like my kid did it. They're like, that's fine. We're just selling it for dirt cheap.
So it's a Volkswagen, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I am super impressed with it. And once again, I want to say thank you to Nissan for letting us have that. And maybe Danny, you'll have a Titan or something to play around with for a week or so coming up soon.
Well, in November. We may have to do the video then.
Yeah.
But I think we can we might be able to talk Nissan into doing some stuff with a Titan. I know that we have an adventure planned for the beginning of next year that we're going to be working with Nissan doing. So there's some great fun things coming up for the podcast for Dave and I that we're really looking forward to bringing to you on all of our platforms.
We'll try to share some of it with Holden too, if he quit buying houses and being busy. But so I'm super pumped that Went is over. It's weird to say. It's weird to say that, but so I've had
the headache of planning Went is done.
Yeah. So, and we talked a little bit about it in the last episode, but man, it's kind of nice to have a break from planning my own events and maybe just get to go on other people's adventures. Yeah.
Well, you know what, Dave? Speaking of Went, I know you're kind of done and over with it, but I heard the raffle was really killer this last year. What kind of stuff was at the raffle?
Car stuff, Dan. Well, really truck stuff. That was the.
Are you trying to say that you're done with Went?
No, we like White Knuckle always comes through, man. We had 2 sets of rock sliders, one for Xterra, one for Frontier, and that in itself is a lot of money they ship out this way. Niztec always comes strong. My buddy Mike Nope with the NPC, the patch company, they brought a bunch of stuff. All the clubs, be it GLX, G-Packs, they all come in strong and donate some things. And of course CVT was actually there, and CVT sold a bunch of chairs. Like they have a new adventure chair out that's really, really nice, man. Like
is it really nice?
It's like I couldn't so Holden's dad Bo bought one, and of course, you know, Boski there's got a little bit of money. If he wants to buy a chair, he can just dump some money and buy a chair. Yeah. And I was amazed at some of the people that after seeing Bo buy one and sitting in that chair were like, I got to go get one of these chairs. And CVT didn't even expect this. They were like, well, we'll be back tomorrow because we got to go back to our warehouse and bring more chairs.
Nice.
And what was cool about it was that Tom with CVT, he was like, man, he goes, I go to these big Jeep events. Nobody ever buys anything. He's like, I go to these Overland events. Nobody buys anything. He said, so I wasn't expecting much coming to a Nissan event. And he goes, you guys wipe me out of all this stuff.
Nice. So, I'm actually looking it up right now. I'm very curious.
It is a nice chair, man. But and of course CVT, they gave us one of these cool moonlights. UFO lights, I think what they call it. That I did a unboxing. If you go to our YouTube channel, and you can see me.
Yeah, those actually look pretty sweet.
They are, dude. They're much better than the ARB chairs. And you
tell me why. No. I'm not looking at the chairs yet. I'm talking about the UFO light.
Oh, what about it?
Tell me about it, dude.
Oh, well, so it's a big freaking camping light of sorts. It's hard to explain. It's like if you've ever seen one of those old moonlights that they'd put over cities at night, like it would shine all over the city. That's kind of what it's like, man. So it's this maybe 12-inch round light. It's got lights, all LEDs all over it, and then it's got these little portable lights that pop off of it. You can use as flashlights or strobes. Then it has a Bluetooth speaker built into it that you can pull down. So if you're out in the middle of nowhere, man, you've got your party set up right there. As long as your phone's Bluetooth, you can just throw in your techno or whatever Danny listens to and kick the strobes on them lights, and you got a Burning Man right there, buddy.
Speaking of sick overlanding life, one, I'm looking at the chair. It looks pretty sweet. Looks pretty fresh. It's got a little thing to hold your wallet and keys and phone and a little cup holder. Yeah. Looks comfy.
It is very comfy.
Secondly, I don't know if you've seen it or any of our listeners have seen it, but Dometic is a company that started really popping out with they're like the new ARB fridge. If you have a Dometic fridge, you're super cool. My RV is full of Dometic for everything.
Really?
Apparently, they put like all their fridges and stuff in RVs.
Huh?
Like it's just a regular fridge like that you would normally see in an RV, but I'm so overland, dude.
Dude, you're so overland.
I'm so overland. I got a Dometic fridge in my new RV, dude.
Oh, before we get to our interview, dude, did you see? And I know this is like a squirrel moment of like 180 degrees. Did you see the video of the dude just trashing the Jeeps as they drive by him?
Oh, the Overland fake?
No, this is a real video.
Overland. Well, no, what I'm saying is Overland fake did.
Yeah, they showed
that
it.
video and they posted on their stuff.
Yeah,
that Overland fake's a pretty funny page.
Yes, if you
it
don't...
was you were the one that told me about that, right?
But so there was this kind of snotty millennial guy in this like
he's a total millennial,
Bill Cosby sweater kind of. So he's probably raping women of some sort. But
he was from Oregon or Seattle.
And there's
something.
a Jeep Club driving by him, and this dude just
talking some mad shit.
Yeah, but what's funny was when you see the video, his eyes never glance left as they're passing him because he's talking shit about these poor people, and he doesn't want them to know like he's such a puss that he's not going to turn that head and kind of.
Oh yeah, if he would never say that to anyone, any of their faces ever.
Even the girl that was with him was just kind of like, you could tell she was like, really? You're going there?
Yeah.
But you know what would be great?
He wasn't like talking some smack. He was like just
laying it
ramrodding some shit talking like right into the camera. You're like, whoa, bro.
Yeah, I was like, where?
There was like some funny parts, and there's other parts where like, this guy is a total tool bag.
Right.
But it was pretty funny.
And, not that we're Jeep people, but when you see the off-road community kind of getting crapped on just because they like built rigs and stuff, you're like, Jesus, dude.
Yeah. He was like, every single one of these people sucks dicks.
Yeah, you're like,
and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, you're like, well, maybe.
Jeez, there's probably some nice people. They're just misinformed on the quality of their vehicle.
But it's the same guy that would like bash people for bashing those people, kind of like if it was a different crowd. But anyways, if you haven't, go find that video. It's all over. If you have, comment down here and tell us your favorite part of that, because that would be great. And speaking of great, Danny, let's just jump right into this. So, last year we started what we call the WENTerviews, and I didn't get a ton of WENTerviews this year because, dude, I was just running ragged, man, like nonstop. But one of the epic interviews I got is from my buddy Aaron Powers, and probably a lot of our listeners don't know who Aaron Powers is, but you're going to learn on this interview who Aaron is and what, like, if Aaron deserves a Miller Lite sponsorship, for one, because Aaron is the biggest fan of Miller Lite I've ever seen. Aaron
got me to drink a lot of Miller Lite. That's in my day, that's for sure.
And but he's just a great individual, man. I can't say enough. Through all of our dealings, like whether me and Danny how we became friends through this community and people I've met, like Aaron is one of the most solid guys I've ever seen. He lives for Went. Like, it's his one chance. Like many people, it's their one chance to kind of let go and just not have to be the boss or whatever your job entails, and just go have fun. And Aaron is the body of Went, man. Like, he really is, because he parties hard, but he gets out on the trails every day.
But he's not like. I want people to understand, like, when you say parties hard, let's not think of like downtown LA parties hard where you're snorting lines of coke off the back of hookers' back. We're talking like Aaron is cracking beers at noon, and sipping away, and like he's almost like
he's
I don't want to say Santa Claus, because that's
that
not
fun
right.
Uncle that comes around every once in a while.
Yeah, dude. I remember the first time I met him, and every other time since, it was just like, hey, what's up, Danny? Groot, what's going on? The high fives, cracks a beer, hands it to me, because the back of his truck is basically like I think he bought an Xterra just so he could have a truck, the back end full of cold ones. Hands me a beer, high five, like bro hug, and then it's just off to the races, and we're just drinking beers, having a laugh, and I've never seen him scowl. I've never seen him say a bad word to anybody. Just quality, and he's kind of like you said, the embodiment of why we go to these events and the people that you get to meet, and I'm always stoked to see him, because he's premium, dude. He's premium people, dude. Premium people, and every time you see him, you're stoked.
And like I was saying, through some of the people I've met in this community, man, like Aaron, if I had a problem tomorrow, Aaron would. However, he would figure out a way to help me any way he could. Like, he's just a quality dude, man. So without further ado, let me introduce you to one of my best friends out there, Mr. Aaron Powers, on the Nissan Nation podcast.
All right, so they call these WENTerviews, but this is more of just an interview, because I've got my buddy here, Aaron Powers, with me. And Aaron, I've known you quite a long time, and since NXM1 on the forums a little bit, but it really wasn't until we were planning the second NXM that we did a pre-run up here, and I got to wheel with you and kind of get to know the crazy side that is Aaron. Aaron, why are you in the Nissan community, man? Why are you here?
So I bought that 2001 a few months before NXM, the first one, and it was just, I can't leave anything unmodded, so I was looking for just fun things that people did. I never even thought of going off-road. I've really never done it before, and I just saw all the cool things that were going on, and you guys told me, come on out, it'll be a good time. I signed up. Told me to pull off my step rails and my and my mud flaps, and my wife says, "You're going to put those back on, right?" And I'm like, "Yep, no problem."
Did they ever get back on, Aaron?
Step rails got sold to a gentleman that picked them up in a Honda Civic, of all things, and he paid me $100 for them.
Wow. Well, they're hard to get rid of, so.
Yeah, I was surprised. The mud flaps went to the local dump, and actually took the roof basket out, too, because I actually have the sunroof in mine. So, yeah, that's how it all got started, man. I went back, and I had the bug crazy. It was the most fun that I have ever had. I know you said your first year was almost a disaster.
Yes.
But I thought it was the greatest thing ever, and I look forward to this every single year.
So you got to do the plant tour and everything, right?
I did.
Because I know you camped at Woolies when we did it there, right?
Yes, it was very hot.
You enjoy, yes. The mistake you learn when putting on an event is don't do it in June of Tennessee because I didn't it was unusually hot, I will say, for that. It was like 10 degrees hotter than it normally is. But, starting out, we're at the plant and everybody's standing on asphalt and, black asphalt, hot sun, they start melting. Like, you can see the misery in people's faces right away. But, obviously, you're in manufacturing, so when you got to see the plant and stuff, was that kind of cool? Or?
That was absolutely cool. It's the same thing in my industry. Whenever I take people around interviewing and you show them what you do, the behind the scenes, it's kind of cool for a lot of people.
Right.
They make that TV show, How It's Made.
Yeah.
Right? I enjoy watching that. My wife's like, "You're the biggest dork," but I'm like, I want to see how my Oreos are made, or whatever it is.
Exactly.
So why not go and watch a car and chassis overhead on a elevated track or something, and then you see the paint booth and their inspection centers.
And the way they were dipping the cars, that was cool.
Yeah.
They dipped the cars in that electromagnetic stuff for rust. And
and then you got everybody on the floor. They like it. They get to wave at us as we're going by. And
then after that, of course, I got to work there. And, I was super excited about it, but the economy crashed and my industry went to crap, so I was like, I got to work somewhere. But, from getting to do the tour of seeing everybody waving and stuff, and then the normal day of, they really are pretty happy. Like they would bring press in there every once in a while or something, showing people. And they, it's, especially for Middle Tennessee, it's a great place, for people to work and make a pretty good wage. But so after that, we went to Woolies, and that was sort of your intro to off-roading, right?
Never done anything off-road before. I don't even think I put any. Well, I take that back. I put stuff in four-wheel drive, but it was basically to go in some grass.
Well, and you're in Ohio, so you're used to snow and stuff.
Yeah, right. It was the best thing ever. I mean, people telling me, "Hey, you can do this," and encouraging me. And I was on the stock street tires.
Yeah,
I had absolutely nothing, and everybody's like, "Okay, this guy's got a skinny pedal." But I did. I went with your hard group at that time.
Yeah,
and went over some of the rocks and bumps, and it was just great. Getting done, I was like, "This is awesome."
When you brought your buddy George with you too, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, George has been with me multiple times. He really would like to get down here, I know. I actually stopped at his house on the way down here on Sunday last week just to break up my drive, and got to hang out with him for a little while. So
right.
I tried to kidnap him. I said, just call work and tell him you're not coming in for the week.
Just tell him you got a Nissan thing you got to be at.
Yeah.
So after that, the bug, I guess, sort of took off for you, right? And I know you were on Xterra Nation when I was running that, and that's where I think the solid part of this community for us really kicked in, man. You started. It was sort of. I mean, Facebook was around, but it was sort of before everybody jumped to Facebook, and you really get a sense of them. But everybody had their online personas. And what was your handle on there? I can't even remember.
Sax, S-A-K.
That's right. But so we kind of, because like I said, I knew you at the event because you were on the very end of you had in that big group picture we did, you had one of the best spots, I think, because you were about number one there on the line, right?
I was up there.
So,
I was tucked in between the people that actually had done mods before. So
right.
I was so jealous. I was envious of everyone around me.
But so somehow I was like, we decided, hey, we're moving this to Windrock, which for those that don't know, Windrock Park in East Tennessee is about 200 miles or so from Nashville, where I'm based out of. And so when I did the event, obviously in my hometown, it's a little easier. So there was a lot of planning, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna take a group over. I'm going to Windrock. I've been here several times, but we had to see the event area, kind of get a feel for just what the park could really offer a bunch of people. And somehow you showed up with this. I guess we sort of did it as a Xterra run too.
Yep.
And I'll never forget you coming down 22, because we came down 22 that day. And there used to be the stair steps there. And I'm like, especially when I don't know you wheeling, I'm very kid glove. Like I'm very like, there was a couple trucks, like Kevin Rice was in front of you, and I'm baby, because that was Rice's first time really off-roading, and I'm babying these guys down these stair steps, and they're not a joke by any means. And then here Aaron's my tail gunner, and it's just do. And I was like, hey man, I'll spot you, and you're like, what? I bought these sliders for a reason, man. Let's use this.
Oh, I made those sliders.
And I was like, holy hell, this is my kind of guy. Like, I think that's when our friendship was like really like, okay, he's my people, man. He just zero F's given.
If you break it, upgrade it.
Exactly. And
everything can be replaced with money or a new vehicle.
but yeah, we camped that weekend, and just I think that's really when our friendship kicked off. And but so over the years, you kind of our last guy. It used to be Mario and you, I think, and Ryan Bennett were kind of the ones that had. And then they've had to miss events, but you've been to all 9 of them now.
I make a point that this is something that I'm going to do. When I first started at the company I'm at now, it was a blackout week, so that was 2 years ago, and 3 years ago. So it's a blackout week for me, and I told them, I was like, I have an event. I understand that you guys don't let anybody off, but it's already paid for.
I paid for the next 10 years of it.
Exactly. So they let me have that off, and then I make a point to do this. Sometimes my wife's not happy with that decision that I make. This is my anniversary month, so
oh no,
17 years. Happy anniversary, babe.
I still love you.
do you? Is the house empty when I get home? Change the locks, whatever. I don't know, but she knows that the Xterra is my mistress. But the 1 year that she did come here with me, 2 years ago, as soon as she got done wheeling with Kelly, I threw her my keys for the first gen, and she went wheeling, and then she went out with Kelly in her second gen.
Uh-huh.
And as soon as she got back to the pavilion and saw me, she says, you need to buy a Pro 4X in black.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. Open the wallet, right? So I got home and I started searching, and I had that bought in October. So it didn't take me 4 weeks to find one.
I know. I was amazed how quick it was. Like, well, when the wife opens up the wallet a little bit,
just do it, because it'll change your mind, right?
Yeah, it can shut real quick. Yes. But so over the years, obviously the events changed some. Even your wheeling style and stuff. You've adapted. You've went with the more difficult groups.
Right.
We've had some crazy recoveries. What is kind of how you've seen the event kind of grow, and just tell me what's been your kind of view of that?
Well, we have our core group that shows up pretty religiously, and then it was amazing. I like seeing people that just show up. I'm a very friendly person anyway.
Yes.
And they're nervous and everything, and you remember the day that you were nervous when you're going out.
Yeah.
And you let them know, we're not going to get you into a precarious spot. We're not going to break your vehicle. If it does break, we've got people here that can help. We've got spare parts. We let them know that we're the coolest community in the off-road world.
And I have, talking about that, I have noticed, I've been to many different events now, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because we have a central location or what, but people that don't know each other when they break, like you see them, like just people just get in there and help everybody.
It's like a pit crew, man. Everybody just gets in there and gets going, and even if you have your vehicle and you have no mechanical skills at all, somebody will be there to help you out.
Right.
We don't shun anyone. It's just super helpful. And at the end, you see their faces, and they've just opened up and they light up, and they're like, man, this is the best thing I've ever done. And we encourage them to come back the next year, but somehow we keep getting the word of mouth, and they keep showing up. And the gentleman that showed up just kind of out of the blue yesterday.
Oh, from Atlanta, yeah.
So he was super nervous, just wanting to look for some mods and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, he was even nervous when he typed me in the email. He was just like, hey, I just want to look at Frontiers. And at first I'm like, what? As an Xterra guy, I'm like, oh, we're not cool enough for you, what, man? But yeah, that guy, he just wanted to, obviously, especially in the Nissan, you see Jeeps everywhere. You kind of starting to see Toyotas everywhere being modified. But Nissan, there are out there, but that we don't generally band together when we're all at home.
No, we don't even wave to each other. I try.
Yeah, well, sometimes you get the bird. I don't know. But yeah, it was like that guy coming in and like he was like, I just want to see Frontiers, and then he showed up yesterday, and I kind of forgot about it. I invited him anyways. I was like, come up, man. I don't care for a day. And I think he was kind of blown away too.
Yeah, I asked him last night, how he was liking it, and just he had a smile on his face. I mean, it was like an uncontrollable grin.
Yeah.
And you see that on a lot of people's faces. So I think he'll definitely be back next year. That thing's going to have some modifications. And, that's how it always starts. I'm going to do some mild stuff, and then you get really interested, and it bites you hard.
Right. But so how have you seen the event kind of over the years kind of change and grow?
So we've been, bigger, smaller. We've had some rowdy years. We've had some,
This one was a mellow year.
It was mellow.
I mean, everybody had a great time, but it was just like just people were chilled, man.
Yeah. I think the ones that have been here for a while, the 4, 5, 6 year people, and you're getting older. You start thinking, differently about what you're doing and whatnot. So maybe that calms down a little bit, or you've got so much experience under your belt, you don't have to, ram through stuff. But
yeah,
I don't know. This event's been great. I mean, sponsorship has been pretty decent. It's amazing to see that they want to help out in this community and share the love that we have. I think that goes a long way for everything. I mean, this is just, like I said, this is what I look forward to every single year. I don't think I'm going to miss anything. I'll definitely come down here. I wish I could get down more, but I'm further away now, so I can't come as often.
Well, Toledo, Ohio, or Cleveland, Ohio is just not a hop, skip, and a jump away.
No, Cincinnati wasn't bad,
Yeah.
4.5, 5 hours. But
which out of the 9 years that you've came now, give me your top 3 years. Which were they?
Well, the year that I won the bumper was really cool.
Yeah,
because that was totally
and that was a surprise.
That was definitely a surprise.
Because you didn't even know you put in for a bumper.
No, and I had to go to the bathroom so bad. I was so ready for that drawing and stuff to get done. You're like, wait, we got one more, and I'm like, oh god. So that was pretty memorable for me.
It's when that continued to be memorable down the road.
The year that I brought my wife 2 years ago, letting her experience some of what was going on. She's a girly girl.
Yeah.
She doesn't get out in the woods. She doesn't, it has to have flush toilet.
Right.
So
I get that.
But that's fine with me, and I had to promise her that we'd stay in town in a hotel. So having to drive back, I had to be a little less drinky. But
right. And by the way, Miller Lite, if you are listening, anyone from Miller Lite or Aaron is looking. I've never seen a bigger fan than Aaron of Miller Lite. Yeah. So
I convert people as much as possible to Miller Lite.
Right. If you can hit me up at the podcast, and we'll get Aaron that sponsorship he so desires. But so when your wife came, which was the others?
So I'd have to say the first year was my favorite.
Really?
To be honest with you. I mean,
that sucks for me because we didn't really connect.
Well, no, that's fine. I mean, you were doing your thing, and I try to be helpful and everything. But that year, that's real special to me because it just ingrained in me And that's what we try to do with the new people here now.
Yeah.
And I want them to have that same feeling that I did. I left out of here just going, wow, that was just awesome.
Right.
I had no idea I could do that. I had no idea that, I'm going to be able to drive this thing home, 5 hours away.
And that's when it was a 2-day event,
Yeah, yeah. And, we wheeled the piss out of the stuff and had a good time. And it's just, it keeps getting bigger and bigger. And everything is great. You and Kelly put on a great event. Luke, Jenna, when she's here, you guys do great. You guys are part of my family now.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Some of my closest friends now, even though we don't get to see each other, but maybe once a year. It's weird that the Nissan brand brought every. In the end, it was a Japanese car company.
Yep.
brought me some of my closest friends, like I know if I was in Ohio, I would have a place to stay with you.
Absolutely.
Or if I was in Iowa where Luke's at, or, like Gruder's in California, I've stayed at Danny's house in California. It's just people, you get to know people just based on this silly brand. And, in who I would have never thought, I love cars, don't get me wrong, but I would have never thought I would have started a forum for this cars or started this podcast or the event just out of the silly love of that goofy Xterra and Nissan.
Right. You've had multiples.
Right. So not due to all because I wanted to, but so your first Xterra is what year?
2001.
2001.
Yep.
And obviously you bought it used
I did, and I got a Cherry too.
Yeah.
It was the owner of the dealership's daughter's vehicle, so it was
really. I didn't know that.
Yes, it was hers because I got it and I saw the old title and everything when I went to the DMV, and her name was on there, but it was the last name of the owner of that dealership.
Yeah.
So that thing was spotless inside and out. And
if they could only see it now.
Well, it's sitting in my driveway if you want to Google me. I think it's on Google Earth. Waiting for my next adventure to do something.
When you bought that, obviously, I know for me, when I bought I had a tornado kill my 2-wheel drive Frontier, and I told Kelly, it's I know it has to be 4-wheel drive. For what I do for a living, I have to have 4-wheel drive, and I've always told her, hey, in Middle Tennessee, we get a lot of ice, so it just makes, having it a few times a year just for that was worth it. But, what was it, a price point that brought you to that Nissan, or had you always been a fan of Nissan?
So Terra was bought specifically to be the dog hauler. That's Chloe's truck. She absolutely loves that truck.
So you bought your Xterra for the dog?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
and you're not the first person I've heard say that.
No, it was something, cloth seats. Easy to clean, rugged looking. I had actually had one many years ago. I had an accident in the car, so I got a rental car, and they gave me an Xterra, and this is probably 2003, 2004. And I remember not liking it.
Really?
When I had it. Yeah, I go back in my memory bank, man, and it's I didn't like that. And my wife's like, I always like those. Those are really sharp. And it was sitting out just in front of a dealership. She's like, let's go and look at it.
And you have a very unique color on that, too. I think that was a 1-year color.
Yeah, I've got the Gold Rush.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gold Rush with the sunroof, and that's about all the bells and whistles.
Well, it matches the top of your favorite beer can. So.
It does. It does. They could wrap my truck if they wanted to sponsor it. I might not be good for driving down the road, but
so when you took your steps off and stuff, what was after wheeling it and you got your Xterra, and you kind of, they just bond with you for one thing, but because like you said, it's not that, especially Generation 1, it's not the most comfortable thing,
right?
But it was,
and I'm a big guy too.
Yes, but it was super simple.
Yes,
that everything you need, nothing you don't. That campaign was totally fit that truck.
I wish that campaign would come back out and just drive up the interest again, because that's so cool to look at commercials and things. And
their ad department for the late 90s, 2000s was just they were on it.
Yeah,
that one for the Frontier. I don't know if you remember, where you hear there's a Stone Temple Pilots song playing in the background, and it's right when they come out with the supercharger, and you just see the Frontier just power sliding in slow motion, and you're just like, that to this day, I see that commercial and I get goosebumps. I'm like,
Right.
And knowing the vehicle now, you're like, well, it's not that much of a powerhouse, but
No.
but it like won me over with that. I was like, or the Xterra commercials where people were rappelling on the back of them, and like they just nailed their audience, and somehow I won't say because I know they listen. You didn't lose sight, but just focus has changed. We had an economy that tanked.
Right.
You're not selling that vehicle.
Well, if people don't know about it,
That is true.
how are they going to get out? You know, I mean, it's whatever is driving force, I guess. You know,
Right.
if you're selling a million units of an A to B car,
Yeah.
and then you have this specialty niche that we absolutely love.
Yeah.
You know, like we're kind of on the side, and it's okay because we still love it. You
Right.
know, and we put our hearts and souls into these things, and every single one is just personalized.
Right.
It's amazing. The exact same vehicle sitting side by side, you don't see the same thing on anything.
Well, we had the Canadian couple here, and they're in a stock Xterra, like completely stock. I mean, it had sadly we ripped the steps off of it on a trail, but it was like as stock as you can get. Like, and it's showroom new looking, like it was very nice.
Absolutely.
But then we have Angel with Offroad Gorilla's sassed Xterra right next to it on 40s, and you're just like, that came from that? Like, you're like, holy cow. So you kind of, what was the first things after you wheeled it once? What you were like, oh crap, I know, here's what we need now.
Yeah. Well, you know, obviously I got on your page that you had there in Xterra Nation, and everybody was talking about the PML, the PML.
Yeah. Poor man's lift for those that don't know.
They're like, it's about $75. You can get this done. You know, back when things were cheaper. But I got under it. I watched, and it's great because people actually took pictures and showed you exactly how to fix and work on. So I did the PML on it, and I got the bigger tires. You know, I was on Craigslist all the time looking for something with some aggressive tread to get rid of. And
because we're Nissan people, we're cheap too.
Right.
No,
So,
let's not
you know,
forget that.
Yeah, somebody's like, hey, I got a set of Toyota rims with these tires on them for $100, and I'm like, there's about 5,000 miles left on them, but they're bigger than what I have.
Exactly.
You know, you jump on that bandwagon, and
I bought some. I didn't know it. I knew Luke at the time, but I didn't know it at the time that me and him were on Craigslist. That's when Craigslist was the thing where you found all your used parts. But we were competing against each other for the same worn out ass. Like, I mean, these tires that I ended up buying, like, there wasn't a penny's worth of tread left on them things, but they were off-road tires. Right. And then come to find out, it was like a year later, Luke goes, you know, I was trying to, the guy was going to deal with me, but he said I was going to check with this one guy first, and then come to find out we were fighting over the same tires.
Small world.
Right. But yeah, like looking for Craigslist used to be so much, like, there's not a ton of Nissan stuff, so tires were like, oh, we can find tires.
Yeah. Yep. You're always finding somebody's offhand stuff, and I still do the same thing. I mean, I have no problem, you know, now it's marketplace where you're looking for somebody else's misery or headache, or maybe I can modify this to fit on mine. And then, you know, I pulled the resonator out. So got into the fender well and pulled it out.
And it sounded so much better too.
It did.
And you get that little bit of growl, and you're like, you're like, you know, it's still a 160 horsepower motor,
right?
But we sound cooler.
Absolutely.
But there was a few like here's your first mods, like the PML, definitely the resonator mod.
Yep. I built my own sliders.
Yeah, nice.
Right? So I cut all that stuff out and put it on. I didn't do anything else for years.
Really?
I just ran it like that. You know, I found some 33s that weren't 33s anymore, but it said 33 on the side, and they fit, and I didn't rub, and it was. I went and beat on it, and then finally I decided, okay, I'm gonna do a lift. So I did the body lift. I won that front bumper, put a winch in it, and so I got a 2-inch body. I got the PML sliders. I got full armor underneath. And that's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to it. I mean, it's a gas hog. The dog still loves it. If I can get it to run, I have a parasitic power loss somewhere.
Uh-oh.
So it stays plugged in at my house, so now I can call it officially it's a hybrid.
So I guess it'd been 2 years ago was the last time that truck was here.
Yeah. Yep.
And obviously, like I said earlier, I know the Gen 1 is not the most comfortable thing, and you're riding from a great distance away. And then once the wife opened up the checkbook and said, let's go get a Gen 2.
Yeah. And Pro 4X at that point.
You're right.
She didn't even say, let's get a base model. She
Right,
said, let's go to the top.
Because the Gen 1, there was no, like, it was the XE or SE. And, like, other than, I think, a radio, there wasn't any, like, no. So, yeah, you get to the Gen 2s, and now you have some options. And the Pro 4X is the main option. You get the rear locker and all that.
The easy button is the greatest thing ever out there. So if you can put that in all your trucks, just like standard feature, I think the off-road community would greatly appreciate that.
I know your trail guides would.
Yeah, right. It helps out with the people that have trouble finding the lines and stuff like that. You know, they're not used to wheeling and where all the bump points are on the bottom of your truck. They're gonna smash and everything.
Well, and you kind of get some basic skids and So, but what was your first impression of kind of owning that vehicle before you started doing anything to it?
More power.
Yes.
You know, sitting up more. Not, you know, the first gen, I get in and my feet go straight, and I sit down, and it's like I got a 6-inch before I'm on the floorboard.
Yeah, it's that very Asian seating position. You know, I don't know what it is. It's always those early imports. Always you sat different.
Yeah. It's sitting down inside of this thing, and I still hit my head a couple of times. Some of the challenges we've gone over in the way that I wheeled. But yeah, man, this second gen, you know, you get leather seats. I'm like, I'm never getting leather again. Then I get leather seats, and you know, I went and conditioned them before I got here. Now they're all soft and supple and feel good. But yeah, man,
it's a little more roomy.
It's way more roomy. You fit a lot more stuff in the back. You can fit a mattress in the back, queen size, by the way.
Yeah,
if you sit those down.
And somebody made some mattresses,
right? So I've delivered many a mattress out of the back of that thing. You have to kind of taco it, but it fits and works. And man, it sounds good. Mm-hmm. You know, you start it up and you're just like, oh, that sounds pretty good.
Well, within 2 years, like that truck is like just night and day different from when you bought it. What obviously now you kind of know off-roading, so you know the first thing is tires. Like grip is king. Like Absolutely. If you can't grip on the trails, like forget it. And we both, my first Xterra had all-terrain, like some Michelin all-terrain tires, and it was like wheel spin like crazy. Just kind of Bash Brothers of let's gotta go as fast as I can to get up there. But so you kind of had a better idea now what to do with the truck, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, seeing people that have been modding them since 2005, you're like, okay, you put that mental thing in your head, like I want it to be similar to that. I like this setup, and I've seen it wheel, and I know. You know, that's going to be good for my style and stuff. You can go just so mild to wild on these things. There's so many options. But, you know, as soon as you get it, and I started looking for modifications for it. And first year I brought it here was already all modded.
I was very impressed.
Know? So I bought it in that October, and before I got back in September, I had the front and rear, you know, bumpers on it. I had little 2-inch suspension lift on it. Offroad tires, obviously. You know, I went with something fairly aggressive, but not terrible. You know, I don't want to kill the gas mileage too bad.
Well, it's an Xterra, so like decimal points mean something.
It does. You know, some people are like, "Oh, it's only a mile per gallon," and I'm like, "Well, if I push that button that I haven't changed for a while, I'll reset. It usually hovers around the 14.2, 14.3, you know, and people are like, oh my gosh, how do you? Well, I got a job 4.4 miles from the house now.
Nice,
so.
Nice. But you went with bumpers. There's a lot of bumper companies out there. There's Hefty. There's Shockworks.
Right.
There's
I kind of went away from.
You went with a smaller guy.
I did. Close to me. It was a 3-hour trip to get out to him. You know, I just pulled the trailer back behind it, and I took the wife and the dogs.
Yeah.
We just made a day trip out of getting out there.
Nice. Well, who did you use?
So I went through Hardcore Off-Road out of PA, and the guy is just super nice. I mean, I emailed back and forth with him, talked to him on the phone, talked about the options that I could get with what I was looking for, and he was like, all right, I'll have it done. And he had it turned around for me in a month.
Wow.
I know.
That's unheard of in the armor community.
Because I was thinking, I got to get this done now so I can have it on for September. You know? 'Cause the bigger companies, they're getting just overwhelmed with orders, and they've got so many projects going. And this guy, you know, he does, he's real big in the off-road community over there. He builds buggies and stuff for people, and to have him just have a jig ready to go, like, hey, I'll have this done. And he emailed me and said, your bumper's ready.
When he's one of those guys, you see him on eBay a lot too. He does little kits and stuff that I've seen, and that's super nice. But to get product fast anymore is like, it just doesn't happen. People think this is the Amazon, like, oh, they've got 15 bumpers on a shelf. When I order it, it'll be next day aired right here, right? Yeah. And it's like, no, these guys they're making a living off of this, but it's because you order it, then they build it a lot of times.
Right. Yeah. He probably has to go out and get his stock for the metal and everything else. You know, like, okay, I got an order or two. You can't just leave all that stuff sitting on the shelf either. You know, overhead for a small company.
Well, I think he does stuff for Gen 1 and 2, right?
He does. He'll build those, and of course he does the other brands too.
Yeah. So, well, we don't discuss those. That's the Truck Life podcast, Aaron.
That's why I said the others.
But so are you pretty content with where your Xterra is?
No, I'm gonna do some more to it. It'll happen. Definitely want to upgrade the fronts. I mean, the Bilsteins are nice, but I was real enthused to try to win those
Nistec MK84s.
Yes, those were beautiful, and they were in the Hot Wheels. And you know, I'm kind of in the Hot Wheels now, so it just would have been.
Let's talk about that. So last year, it's a tradition. We always, the kind of core group will go to a Mexican restaurant that sadly is no longer here.
Yeah.
And after a few margaritas, for some reason we always have to go to Walmart. And I don't know I think Kelly went to the restroom or something, and me and you were just standing around, and we happened to notice there was a couple Nissan
I just turned
Hot
around.
Wheels.
Yeah, I turned around and saw the wall of Hot Wheels, and I'm like, hey, it's a Nissan. It's a Nissan. And they were all different.
But it's rare. Like, for us to find how many we ended up finding, that, like...
Well, we dug through 3 bins and the shelf, and then we found the 2 boxes sitting on top that hadn't been put out yet.
And when we say this, like, we went and got shopping carts, and we're, like, putting the cars that aren't Nissans in the shopping cart, like, separating these. And if you guys seen Walmart end caps, they have these big Hot Wheels boxes, just like where they throw them all in. And so... I won't say we were drunk, but we were feeling pretty nice going through there, and here comes Kelly out, and she's like, what are y'all doing? And we're like, well, we're looking for Nissan cars. And then we had a few kids here last year.
We did. I thought that would be awesome to give those kids stuff.
Yeah, and because, you know, obviously kids can't drive generally out here, and it's probably they're not rudely being drug around, but they're like, you know, this is mom and dad's thing.
Yeah.
But so, you had the idea, well, we'll give some kids some Hot Wheels cars. But the problem being is the big kids came out, and they're like, ooh, Hot Wheels cars. Us adults are like... And then, like, where's Aaron the next day? Oh, he's back at Walmart looking for more of these damn cars, man.
Yeah, I spent, I think, you know, they're $1 a piece. I think I spent close to $50 last year just on Hot Wheels cars for people. And, you know, I had leftovers, and I got home, and I gave some to my friends' kids, and... You know, I still go over and I'll see some Nissans out, you know, where son's been playing with cars and whatnot.
But you know, when I was a kid, like, toys are just completely different. But I remember getting in my yard, and you would just get you some stick or something. You could make a little road, like dig out the grass to make a road, and you just pretend. Like, I would spend hours in my backyard in the sandbox or whatever with my Hot Wheels cars.
Yeah.
So, but when you did that, like, it really took off for you this year. Like, you really got into the Hot Wheels cars collecting.
I did. It's become an addiction, I think. And my wife, she's like, I'm going to go sniff stuff, and that's what she calls, you know, looking at the soaps and body lotions. And she goes, I know where you're going. So that's like the beginning of any trip. Is I head back to the toy section and I start looking. And I've got a guy at work that he collects Hot Wheels as well, but he's a Volkswagen guy.
Yeah.
So I started buying him some Volkswagens, and then he goes out and he buys Nissan stuff for me. So we trade at least once a week. We've got something that we found for each other. Actually, I was down here looking, and I found him some stuff that I know he doesn't have.
Yeah,
so I texted him and said, "Hey, this is coming back from Tennessee." But I've got a shelf made, and I leave them all in boxed if I can. I've got this shelf that's 3 deep right now. It's overflowing.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of this.
It's all Nissans or Datsuns. There's nothing else in that shelf. I've got an open car shelf that's made where you can just put them in there, and I've got some pretty cool stuff. And I don't know if you know it or not, but there's a 2000, I think it's a 5 Titan, and it's slammed. It's got bags in the bed, and it's cut out and everything.
Really?
And my buddy found that one. He's like, "This was in my son's toy box, and he said, I was going through getting rid of like stuff that was bad or whatever, and this one was kind of beat up, but I looked on the bottom and it said Nissan Titan, and I'm like, that is so cool. I didn't
know they made a Gen 1 Titan.
Yeah, so it's a 4-door, and it's slammed and bagged, and that's kind of neat that Nissan's so represented even in the toy world.
Exactly.
There, so.
And there's probably more Hot Wheels Nissan than there are actual Nissans.
There's a lot. There are a lot.
But what was fun was so just like me and you that night, just kind of going crazy looking at them cars, and just like for one, seeing the joy on your face of just like you found this new little thing. And so we always like kind of have a theme. Well, I won't say always, but we've sort of blended into these themes of the event.
Right.
Like last year because the 80s have been like fun, it's coming back, so we did kind of an MTV play on it. And this year when I was talking, I was like, Aaron has like inspired this Hot Wheels theme. Now, granted, a lot of cars we were like the Xterras and Matchbox, which is still Mattel, but it's just a different brand. But
it's the other brand.
Their logo just isn't as fun as Hot Wheels logo is. So I was like, kind of not probably at first as like a tribute to Aaron, but I was like, the more I thought about it, it's like this is kind of about Aaron, like the shirts and everything. And we did the patch. We took the Went. And we, instead of Hot Wheels, we put Went in there, and it's the logo. It's sort of the Hot Wheels logo. The shirt that way, all the banners and stuff this year were like that, and that was just inspired by your silliness of them Hot Wheels,
I hate to see what's going to happen next year.
Miller Lite everywhere.
They're going to sponsor me. Miller Lite, this is our 10th year coming up next year. That would be wonderful if you guys jumped in and. Wow.
Yes, any distributor, Aaron, we'll take anything.
Right. But if I could talk you guys into it, come sponsor Went 2020. It'll be fantastic, I guarantee.
Right. But so Aaron, we've known each other
9 years.
9 years now.
Yeah.
And I have to say you're probably one of my best friends. We don't, like I said, we don't get to see each other a lot, but when we're here, we're definitely a tag team of
right, a whirlwind of fun.
Yeah. If I need a beer, it's like, hey, where's Aaron? Because I know Aaron's got like there's this 18-pack or 24-pack in his arm. He's like, but just as our friendship, because like I said earlier, I've made a lot of my close friends now are based around this silly vehicle, and it's something that obviously. The corporate knows because they the Z communities, they used to be the import communities, was super close like this, and that sort of kind of not went away, but sports cars aren't what they used to be. They're not, they've all turned into either GTR, like supercars.
Right.
And that's way out of my price range to get into.
Love to.
But that's kind of the fun thing of these cars, and obviously they don't make the Xterra anymore, but it's a cool car.
Yep.
The Frontier, they've made it way too long, but guess what? That's probably brought people that I would never met in because it's a cheap, affordable truck, and then you can come out to these things and have fun with it. But it's just people that we've got to know over the years, whether it be like Anthony Villa and Carrie Beasley.
Yep. Great people.
Yes, just sometimes it's people that you would see them and never think that they could be some of your good friends.
Right.
You just always see people.
We come from all walks of life.
We do.
Too. I mean, you've got every side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And make everybody feel welcome. Let's show them that, we got love for you guys coming out.
And I think somebody told me last night when we were doing the raffle, they were talking about, you have people with a lot of money here. You have people with not a lot of money here. Right. And when you're at an event like this, it's not a factor. Yeah, somebody's truck may be, have a little more goodies and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's about, for what Win is about community, getting on the trails, putting, maybe testing your vehicle to your limits.
And the thing that we do out here is we include everybody. It's all inclusive. Like you said, we've got pure stock, and then you've got wild. So you've got the wild guys that go out, and they beat and bash on things, and then you got the intermediate hard, and then you got the beginner type stuff, and you can see people there like, okay, I'm going to do the easy stuff.
Yeah.
And then the next day they're like, okay, I got a little confidence, man. I'm gonna bump up to something that's a little bit more challenging. And man, you guys out here, the spotters.
Yeah.
You know, you guys jump out and you make sure that everybody gets out.
Well, I know for me, I generally I like taking the new people because I like seeing that excitement in their face. I'll never forget taking one of the Indiana guys when we were just up here for just probably something for Xterra Nation or something. We literally went from a paved road, crossed the bridge on 22, and you do a couple bumps, and then we stopped to let everybody catch up. And these people got out of their truck and were like, I can't believe this thing can do this. And you're like,
yeah.
And I was confused. I was like, was something broke? What was going on? And he's like, I mean, these trucks are tough. And you're like, dude, it's a 4-wheel drive. Like, it's not exclusive to Jeep.
Yeah. No.
And I think over the years, like Jeep sort of, like, as a hobbyist, sort of started all this.
Yeah. Hashtag not a Jeep, by the way.
Yes, not a Jeep. But I think, like, the more and more that people, you get a couple people, and maybe they don't last forever doing this, but it opens their eyes that this isn't exclusive to Jeep or Toyota. Overlanding's not exclusive to Toyota. There's a lot of, like, Nissan built that Frontier, the Destination Frontier, that shows you can do this on a budget and still have a nice vehicle with a lot of fun toys on it. But it just opens people's eyes up of like they think 4-wheel drive, okay, yeah, but it's not a Jeep.
Well, you know, everybody's just stuck in this day-to-day grind where you're, you know, going to your town or city and you're on the paved roads and, you know, you might get snow or something. You're like, okay, well, I got 4-wheel drive. I feel confident on the road. They never think about, you know, what are these things really capable of? And then we put them to their limits, you know.
Well, yeah, I think sometimes more than they're intended for, but
well, if it breaks up, great. Don't get frustrated.
I agree.
And that's the other thing, man. You know, for being smaller than the other, you know, big ones that do the off-roading and everything, like I said, the people that actually get in there and build the things just for the Nissans, there's a lot of options, and it's getting more and more. I think that's a very positive thing. It can include a lot more people, and, you know, events like this can really bring out and just include everybody and make them just happier than hell.
Right.
Great.
Well, I know, and this isn't me being cocky, but I know this event has sold some vehicles for Nissan. Like you bought it. I mean, obviously you bought it used, but it's still moving metal.
Yeah.
And I know people that have went out and bought brand. They had the Gen 1 Xterra, Gen 1 Frontier, and they went out and bought the brand new one because they like Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith had a 2005 Xterra. He bought used, and he found it. It was already lifted and stuff. Probably poorly, but he was happy. Like, he wanted to sometimes you just want to feel tough in your vehicle, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody has the same commuter car, whether it be the Sentra or whatever the other brands offer. They're great cars, but if you're using it for work every day, it's sort of boring, and it's, you know, you want sometimes your persona to come out. And that's what a lot of this is I want to feel.
It's an extension of you.
Exactly,
right.
Exactly. And so I know like Kevin went out, and when he knew the Xterra was he went and bought a brand new one. He was like, I got to have, because I know I'm going to be in this for the next 10 years. I want, you know, 0 miles.
Right.
And it just shows what these events, no matter any event that you go to, like, it shows that there's a community. They will buy your product when you advertise it properly, and they know about it. And
make it look cool.
And it just for anybody at Nissan listening, at the end of the day, whether you're PR or whatever your job is, you don't realize it, but you've created lifelong friendships.
Yes, definitely that.
And
I wouldn't give this up for the world, man.
Right.
This is, you know, you and I message each other.
Oh, yeah.
You know, text and, hey, what's going on? Or I'll call you with some questions. And,
yeah.
You know, and, you know, you've sold me some parts, and like, hey, who do I trust that hasn't or isn't going to send me something that's ragged out?
Right, exactly. But as we kind of wind this down, man, I want to say for the event, you know, you're a part of the event now, and you know, you're that guy. Like, we don't assign you a job, really. There's the Aaron job is to be a smiling face to people. Maybe hand them a cold Miller Lite.
Ambassador, right?
You are a WENT ambassador. But whether it be handing them a cold Miller Lite when they get here, or just like Kelly really relies on you a lot. Hey, I need this done, and it's vacation, so we always feel guilty when you're like, hey,
don't do that.
Hey, can you go help with that? And Aaron's that smiling face is like, why didn't you say so earlier? Like,
right.
What are you waiting on? But we're all either leaders in our normal lives of bossing people around or whatever. So I know from us, we always like, this is people's vacation. Yeah. And I take that super seriously. Like, I don't want people to feel like, oh, great, now I'm going to go on my vacation and work. But we really, like, for you especially, man, we appreciate
it's not
everything.
Work if you love it.
Right, exactly. But we appreciate everything you've done. And you've done more in the community than probably you realize, just being the friendly guy you are.
Right.
But, so, year 10, Aaron, we're going home.
Yes.
Of sorts. The first year we went to the plant. Now let's go where they make the decisions. And I don't know that we're going to get them to bring an Xterra back, but we're damn sure going to bring a lot of Xterras to them.
Yes.
And
show them what they created.
We are, and the monsters they've made.
Yes.
Obviously it's still in the planning, but Nashville, Tennessee, you've been there.
I have. It's a great town.
Right, especially if you're a bride now. It seems like they're full of brides when you go downtown. I don't know why Broadway in Nashville has all of a sudden turned into Bridezilla everywhere, but they're there. And Mario, who used to come to this event a lot, is actually downtown Nashville. I was looking on his Facebook page, and he was like, he's in some bar, and he's like, I'm the only guy in here. And they're all line dancing and stuff. But
right.
So we're going home, man. And once again, I want to show Nissan, like, my agenda from day one was I knew they were going to kill the Xterra, and this is in 2009 or so. Mm-hmm. The economy was tanking. It didn't make sense to keep that vehicle if you're not selling much of it. So
advertise.
Right. So my goal was not to save the Xterra, but just to show them this community that I found around that time, how I fell in love with this community. And I wanted to show them, there's the 53 trucks or whatever we had the first year that showed up. There's still a passion here. And this is sort of this will be my last year for a little bit of run and win. Or not running it, but probably being a bigger part of win. I want to go out, not out, but I want to show them on year 10, look, man, 10 years of this. And I know, like Moab, they've done a lot longer. The East Coast Xterra Challenge has done a lot longer. But this isn't my playground. So I want to say, hey, for my 10th year anniversary, we're coming home, guys. And I want to show them. I don't care if you're in a stock vehicle and you can only show up to Franklin, Tennessee for the day we say it is. I'm spreading the word, man. I'm spending a lot of money to advertise for Nissan. I'm going to do something you're not. Well, they're starting to. But I'm bringing the trucks home. And I'm super excited. Of course, you'll be there, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
In what do you call your Xterra?
First or second gen?
Well, you got two of them.
First gen's Terra. My wife named that one because that was kind of obvious.
Yeah, it's kind of a given.
It's probably everybody else's name they give it. But I think I'm one of the only people that has a male name for their truck, but mine's Frank.
Frank?
Yeah. So
I'm assuming after the Punisher.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I punish my vehicle, so this one had to
I
be...
figured it was because that vehicle punishes your wallet for fuel.
Well, there's that too. It's a reciprocating issue there. But, Frank Castle took a lot of beating and made it through, right? He had the endurance. So, knowing how I drive and wheel, I knew that this one was going to take off. So it just made a lot of sense for me to call him Frank.
So, Aaron, any final thoughts as we wind this up?
Get out here and do this. Year 10 is going to be amazing. Every year is amazing, but year 10 is just going to be, the cream of the crop, I guess.
I hope so. I sure hope so.
Yeah, we've just got too many people interested in this, and it's the best thing you'll do for a week. I'm telling you. You come out and, like you said, this is people's vacations. If you want to have an enjoyable time for the entire time you're here and feel welcome and just have that sense of camaraderie and, man, come in. We got open arms. It's fantastic.
And cold beer.
Cold beer. run what you brung. There's no ego here.
Yeah.
So
and as far as Went, I always say rock to stock or stock to rock. There is, whether it just be fire roads that they have up here, service roads, like they're bumpy and sometimes you do need 4-wheel drive on those roads, but there is a little something for everybody. And we're going to try to go from Franklin to the 200 miles or whatever it is here to Windrock that night. We'll do a kickoff, obviously, and I'm going to guess Regal's going to want to be a part of that again. But
sure hope so.
If not, I want to say thank you to Aaron for just being an awesome dude, for helping out any time we need you. And like they said, like Kelly was saying, if I asked him to jump, he's like, how high? Yep. And then I made a joke of, I don't think you can jump too high, right?
No, but I'll give it hell.
That's right. You'll bash it all the way through. Yep. So Aaron, once again, I appreciate just the friendship and getting to know you over the years, and just everything you do for this community. Whether you think you do a lot or not, you actually do a lot to this community.
No, this does wonders for my soul every single year. I think for people a lot in my position. I have a critical role where I work, and being able to come here and let you guys know that I'm just a doer.
Yeah.
Tell me what to do and I'll do it. I'll go down and take care of the rest of the trash today, and it's whatever needs to happen. And we need people, if they want to come out. I always have an extra seat. People can ride with me.
And the Beasleys did it, or Carrie Beasley
Yep.
and Anthony did that.
Yep. So I took Norb out yesterday too, and
you took the Don?
I took the Don. I got blessed. I got to.
Was there a stogie involved?
No, he made a comment in the beginning of the week. He said he was going to give up smoking cigars so he didn't get blamed for lighting up while he was on the trail and running into something.
And if you haven't seen, man, if you go to Went's social media, there's probably a picture of Norb's off the side of a ditch again, three-wheeling it.
Yep.
But Aaron, once again, I want to say thank you for just being a part of this event.
Thank you for inviting me in. I mean, this has been great. I feel super welcome, and I feel like part of the family. So, thank you.
You can't end better than that. Then, so till next time, guys. This is the Nissan Nation podcast.
So that was my buddy Aaron Powers, man. And if you ever get a chance to come to a Went, you've got to you see the big man with the Miller Lite T-shirt or whatever. If you see a guy with holding an 18-pack of Miller Lights walking around, that's probably Aaron. So do yourself a favor and go introduce yourself and have a beer with him and just hang out with one of the best people in the world.
Oh yeah, you'll thank us later. I promise. I think I have yet to meet anybody that. Well, probably never will, that would have a negative word to say about him.
Right.
So you guys are lucky to have him just to be on our show, as well as we are lucky to have him on our show. So, Aaron, I'm having a sip of whiskey. Unfortunately, I don't have any Miller Lights in my house, but I had a sip of whiskey in your honor, sir, right now.
Oh, he downed it. The glass is empty.
Delicious.
It is delicious, man. So, Danny, this has been show 99.
Woo-wee.
Dude, we started this journey January 22nd, I think, of 2015. And look at us now, dude. We've been on many adventures together. We've been from basically Los Angeles all the way here to the hills of East Tennessee together.
And we haven't made $1 yet, but I wouldn't trade those adventures for any amount for. Well, I'd trade them for a lot of money, but it would have to be a lot of money.
Wow.
We're talking like rapper money.
Like $10, $20, what? But no, dude, when we started this, I had this weird idea of like, man, I want to do a podcast. And when I came up with a forum, I had an idea if I wanted to do a podcast and just didn't know how to do it. And then somehow, just through our meetings of Dan Cole and with the 4x4 podcast, Dan kind of put me on the path of how you do this. And like, I can't believe we've made it 99 shows, man.
That's pretty crazy. And I mean, it's not only 99 shows, it's like all the stuff in between, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
I challenge all of our listeners. It goes beyond Nissan stuff, but at the same time, if you're really into Nissans, go to a show, go to an event, connect with somebody that's, invite them over to do a mod day and make some friends. And you know what? This world, I don't think we have enough friends to keep us supported. There's everybody clamps himself in their house, and they don't want to meet new people. Take a chance, meet some new friends that have the same interests as you, and
whether
and be there for them,
self-promotion or
yeah, and be there for them when they need a lift kit installed, and they're stressed about it. I'm not saying you're gonna keep them from killing themselves, but I am saying, you know what? Let's take care of each other, and be awesome friends. That's a way to save the world.
That is the way, man. Like we're not all perfect, and nobody's ideology is the same as everybody else's.
I'm right up there, though, Dave.
And well, I mean, you're as close as you can
the
get.
Perfection that's emanating from my body is it's right there. I mean, it said the line is within eyesight.
It is. But no, I like, whether it be picking like you up at the airport that time and seeing the first time I ever met you, that panicky face of like, what did I just do?
That was way before the podcast. Was that 2013?
14 maybe, I think.
Well, whatever it was, that was a long. That was our first meeting.
Yep. And like just some of the craziness that 99.
I mean, you know what? A couple years later, we're sharing a tent that shouldn't be shared.
Both shivering
cold. Man,
as the road crew is over there in their nice, well prepared camps. Probably like, what are these guys? What's shivering? What are they doing?
Snoring up a storm. I'm wearing a onesie, then a suit. Dave's in a Grumpy Bear outfit, and there's a minion humping me. I mean, we've seen a lot together, Dave.
Oh, the big
I got humped by a minion. Oh, we did you actually? We were taking shots out of chopped up Coke cans.
Yeah.
Moonshine. My first taste of moonshine delivered, like legitimate moonshine delivered by Dave. Oh man, slept on your couch.
You did. We had diet pizza together.
Oh man, I think, you know what? Maybe Dave. Maybe we should just have a throwback show, Dave.
I think that's what next.
Maybe
show
100. We should go back and we should let's cue it up and we'll revisit all the crazy shit we've done together since we started this. That might be a fun show.
I think so. So show 13 was, I called it Family Matters, is why I got into the Nissan world, and I had Kelly on here. So I think it's appropriate that show 100 is definitely the throwbacks of throwbacks, man.
How we got to where we're at.
That's right. So
that's fun.
So Danny, in 1 month we're gonna be in Park City, Utah, buddy.
Together again, Dave and Danny. Maybe not sharing beds, but sharing stories. Sharing drinks on a beach house in the middle of Utah.
Oh, man. So from all things Nissan here.
No, Dave, we're not done. I was going to tell everybody I was a singer.
Oh yeah, Danny is.
They knew I'm very famous.
Well, if they listen to shows 2 and 3, yeah, I think you sung about oil changes and all kinds of fun stuff.
I forgot about the oil change song.
if you guys at 99, if you were with us from show 1 through 5,
we gotta put some serious work and pull some show clips.
We had zero idea what we were doing. I'll never forget show 1, man. We're just like, well, what do we do?
Singing about oil changes, man. That's where we came from.
Nissan. What was the one JR? He did the auto-tune.
Oh, I'm trying to remember. See, that's the thing. We got to pull the clips, and
we do.
It'll just be clips of us, and then me and you laughing in the background.
But seriously though, if you made it through those shows with us, God help you, because you need some mental health or something, man.
Yeah, for those of you that have stuck with us since the beginning, man, we love you guys so much. We probably actually know you. If you've stuck with us from the beginning, we probably actually met at this point.
You've probably talked to us.
If not, we want to get to know you. We want to meet you. DM us, send us a post on Facebook. Say say that you've listened to all the shows or whatever.
Here's what we'll do. I challenge. We're going to do a giveaway. So I challenge you to your favorite memory of episodes 1 through 99. If you'll go to our Facebook page.
Good idea.
And hashtag NNP memories. And I'm going to pin it to the top of the page. And you share us, and Danny or somebody will get to pick the best memory out of what you guys think we've the dumb things we've done or talked about. And you'll get a whole prize pack of Nissan NNP hat, shirt, thongs, I don't know, whatever I can find. We're gonna put it all together.
NNP used Danny thong. It's
and Danny, I will send them to Danny first so he can rub the Power Rock all over these. So you will get.
I will rub all kinds of Power Rocks. I will rub everything on it.
But if you'll go there and share, tell us your favorite memory of shows 1 through 9. So Danny, that's it.
Just
buddy.
1 through 9?
No, 1 through 99. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Your favorite show moments that you can think of, please post on our Facebook, post on our DM us, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is. Send it to us. We want to bring you a show that brings a smile to our because I'm sure we forgot about these things, but everybody's got a different memory of something. So bring it up, let us know, and let's make it a really fun show of throwback stuff.
Yeah, let's do it, guys. So from all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to the hospital I'll be at tomorrow, Danny, getting my shoulder fixed. This has been your Nissan Nation podcast, and what are we?
Dead.
Or alive. You're coming with me.
Alive. I mean alive. See ya, everybody.
Peace.